Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 21, 22 and 26. Arjuna said, "By what marks, O Lord, is he known who has gone beyond these three gunas? What is his conduct, and how does he pass beyond these three gunas?" Next verse. "He who hates not the appearance of light, which is the effect of Sattva, activity, the effect of Rajas, and delusion, the effect of Tamas, in his own mind, O Pāndava, nor longs for them when absent," and then the next shloka would have said, "nor delights in them when present." And then verse 26, "And he who serves me with unswerving devotion, he, going beyond the gunas, is fitted for becoming Brahma." So the question reads, to go beyond all the three gunas, is first coming to Sattvic predominant state necessary? And if Sattvic state is all about light and wisdom, why would want to go beyond that? If Sri Krishna is saying that devotion to him is higher than wisdom? So two things are being asked. First, to go beyond the three gunas, is it necessary to take a linear route, which is to come to Satogun first and then from there graduate to a state beyond gunas? Or is it possible to have some kind of a bypass or shortcut? The questioner is curious whether one can straight away move from, let's say, Rajogun to a state transcending all three gunas. That's the first part. And the second part he is saying, if the Sattvic state is about light and wisdom, why is it needed at all that one transcends it? All right. Theoretically, it is possible that one moves straight away, even from tamogun to transcendence. It is possible. But it is highly improbable. Won't really happen. The chances of this happening are maybe 1 in a million. For this to happen, one requires an explosion in one's consciousness. And explosions are very difficult for consciousness to tolerate. Especially a tamoguni consciousness is too deeply drowned in its own self-delusion for it to be able to tolerate any explosions. Right? What does an explosion do? It demolishes, it shatters everything around. An explosion in your consciousness would bring your entire world down. Therefore, even though theoretically feasible, it is practically quite impossible. You'll have to take the linear route, which is more feasible and safer. In the linear route, there is incremental change in your consciousness. So let's say you are tamoguni. All you do is drink and sleep and remain in your dreams and delusions. That's your life. You live in your own personal universe. Drugs and booze are your staple food. And you have grandiose concepts of your own that have nothing to do with ground realities at all. That's the tamoguni life. Your mind stinks, your life stinks, and your bed stinks. But you keep sleeping. And you have no repugnance towards yourself. You are all right and happy and confident. That's the Tamogun. Now, one day it happens that those things you are dependent on to maintain your deluded state run out of stock. That's when you realize that even to sleep like a log, you first of all require to achieve a little. So you go out to achieve. And when you go out to achieve, you find achievement is not only difficult, it is a difficult spiral, spiraling upwards. You want to achieve one thing, that necessitates achieving another thing, and that necessitates achieving another thing, and another thing, and another thing. So now, gradually, you move to the Rajoguni state. Even though you had entered that phase just to continue with your tamsa, yet now you find that you are truly a Rajasic one. And then remaining caught in this spiral of action, ambition, and achievement for long, all you experience for yourself is doom and despair. And you have been fortunate enough to have been learning from experience. You have gathered knowledge about yourself, seeing yourself run around for so long. And because you have been running around to all corners of the world, now you have gathered knowledge of the world as well. That does not happen with everybody. I'm taking a specific case of someone who has successfully managed the transition from Rajogun to Satogun. That's a special case. So now this fellow, in the process of fulfilling his achievements, in the process of attaining this and that, has gathered enough knowledge of the world. And in gathering knowledge, he has started to value knowledge. That does not happen with everyone, I repeat. In gathering knowledge, he has started to value knowledge. And when he starts valuing knowledge, he says, if knowledge is valuable, then instead of achieving worldly goods, let me achieve knowledge. That's how his very achievement or tendency to achieve pushes him into Satogun. Knowledge too becomes a kind of achievement for him. He says, I have been trying to achieve power, position, money for so long. Now let me achieve knowledge. So now he runs after knowledge, and knowledge does what it does. Knowledge liberates him from all kinds of delusion. Knowledge liberates him from his compulsive running around. Now he can settle down and relax, and that gives him a lot of freedom from his previous states. That is Satogun. But remember, this freedom has come on the back of knowledge, not wisdom. We have mentioned here that if Sattvic state is all about light and wisdom, no. Satogun has to do with Gyan, which is knowledge, not wisdom. The Satogun is not really wise. He knows a lot, but he has still not achieved the center of all knowledge. Maybe he has some peripheral insight, but that you cannot really call as bodh or illumination or wisdom. That is something that comes to you when you transcend even the Satoguni state. And that is transcend when you realize that you cannot have happiness without being a little tense within. If liberation from despair is dependent on knowledge, then that liberation is not complete because it is still dependent. Any kind of dependence is bondage. So then you want a liberation that is independent of even knowledge. In Sattva-gun, you have liberation with knowledge, because of knowledge, dependent on knowledge. The last dependency still remains. Finally, you realize that of what use is liberation if I am still dependent on something, even if that something is knowledge. So then you transcend. Then you move beyond even Sattva-gun. That is called the Gunatit state. Now you have gone beyond Prakriti in its totality. Now, neither are you identified with Tamas, nor Rajas, not even Sat. You have gone totally beyond the three gunas, which means now you are totally away from and free from Prakriti, which means now you are in your pure consciousness state. That is how it happens. That's why Sri Krishna is saying that the ones who are devoted to me go beyond even Sattva-gun. Being devoted to Sri Krishna is being devoted to transcendence. Right? You have to exceed even the Sattvic state. But then that's a far cry. First of all, reach the Sattvic state first. Even that is too distant for most people.